In today's episode, we take a look at setups on EURJPY, Euro Pound, a couple of Aussie pairs, and also New Zealand dollar, US dollar. We also take a look at some of the best trades from our live trading room. Enjoy. How's it, guys? The first chart I want to discuss is EURJPY, submitted by JMAT in our trading room. Now, just to get a little bit of perspective on this setup, I want to just take us to the daily time frame quickly. And you can see here that we had the market fall all the way down to this big liquidity level, and this is where we had this big reaction. So we're at quite an important level of liquidity, and the next level of liquidity only comes in at around 119 and then potentially 121 if the market wants to reach for those levels. Now, if we move down to the 4-hour time frame, this is that resistance level or support level that JMAT marked off, and we kept on finding support, and then we broke through where we started finding resistance. We had the accumulation, and then we broke back above the zone, and this is what we call the flip zone. So ideally what we're going to be looking for next week is a corrective move back to this level, and hopefully there we can find a long entry to get higher to at least this first level of liquidity, if not higher to this one at around about 121. So yeah, we're going to be putting this one on a watch list, and we'll see how it plays out. And next up, I'm going to be looking at Euro Pound, submitted by Karabu. Now, this is a setup that Karabu has been watching and discussing over the past few weeks, and he's looking at a long on the 1-hour time frame here if we have a bit of a correction, again to a bit of a flip zone area over here. And again, if I can just bring up my trading view 4-hour chart for a bit of perspective. We had the market print these clean lows over here before we had the impulsive move, and since then we started grinding down, and we ended up reaching for this liquidity. Now, this pattern I refer to as the reach around pattern, where it sort of reaches for these low levels or these big levels of liquidity before reversing strongly into a different direction. Now, what we'll be looking for next week again is a corrective price action to where this market had this last bullish order block before it ran these stops. And if we get a corrective move into this area, then hopefully we can get along. And the first sort of level of resistance I can find is around about the 9.05 area where this market had this support, and this will potentially become a resistance. Now, there's obviously no guarantee that this level is going to hold, so we're going to just have to watch the price action. If we do go higher and we start having a bit of a distribution and we start impulsing lower, then I'll probably stay out the way of this chart, as it might start making lower lows. But right now it's looking good, and as I say, if we do have any corrective price action, we'll be looking for longs on this one. Alright, so next up we're going to look at a couple of Aussie pairs, and this AUDJPY was submitted by JMAT quite a while ago in our trading room, and we did discuss this in one of our previous videos, and he was looking for a move up into this order block level for this gap close for a move lower. Now, moving a bit forward in time, we did have the move into this level, and we did have that big reaction, so well done if you're already short in this pair. But potentially next week what we can do is we can again look for a bit of a correction to add to this short position. And again, you want to look for this level where it ran these last stops over here. And again, if you find some corrective price action, then potentially we can catch this bigger move to this resistance level that JMAT marked off. Alright, and FX Patriot also submitted an Aussie pair, and he's looking for shorts on the Aussie dollar, US dollar. And he's got a couple of scenarios in mind, and he marked off this liquidity level for potential reversal, and we had the reaction from this level. Now again, I believe there are two possible scenarios here. One, we're still sort of on this uptrend line. I know that's not the best drawn one. So potentially we could have one more move higher, and if we do move higher, perhaps we'll reach for this liquidity. But since we did reach this level of liquidity and we did have a bit of a distribution here, any sort of a corrective move, perhaps this one is also ready for a move lower for at least this next level of liquidity. So yeah, we're watching a couple of Aussie dollar pairs, including the Aussie dollar CAD that we discussed last week. So you know, no point taking all of them since they're all sort of setting up in a similar fashion. So pick your best one, and let's watch them in the trading room next week. Alright, so the last chart I want to discuss is New Zealand dollar, US dollar. This is a potential 3-drive pattern that I shared in the trading room a few days ago. And I was looking at a move up to 0.619, which would be the 127 extension for a perfect technical 3-drive. Now, however, the market doesn't always work exactly perfectly, and we do have at least a completed 3 drive here to the minimum of the 113 extension. So we did miss that level by a couple of pips, so potentially we could go a little bit higher, but what I'm seeing right now is all the ingredients for a reversal. So if we can just zoom in a bit, we did clear this last high, we did have a bit of a distribution, and then we did have the move down. So again, potentially looking for a correction, same as on the Aussie dollar, US dollar. And if you find some corrective price action, I might be looking to get short this market here. And my first target, or my next target, would be the low of this 3 drive pattern over here. But again, if we do find a bit of a accumulation and we start impulsing up, then perhaps we might make one more move to this 0.169 level. But as it stands right now, I'm definitely going to be looking for shorts on this one. All right, that's it from me, guys. I'll see you all in the trading room.